I think people get tattooed because, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the world, and it's all like a 24-hour news cycle. Nothing lasts. With tattooing, it's blood, it's pain, it's permanence. When you get that needle in your skin for the first time, you have to be there. You can't just call it in. You have to sit there and take the pain, and then sit there and heal it, and then you got to live with the consequences of your action. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the East West Podcast with Horisumi. It is January 5th, 2024. So happy New Year. And we all made it. Despite everything that's going on, we all made it. So it feels weird doing a podcast, just me today. No interviews. So many people on holidays and whatnot. I'm not going to bother people for an interview right now. So we'll do that. Hopefully we'll have some new people coming up this month. See how it goes. What I do want to talk about, though, and it's ironic because I'm playing this on Instagram, if you're watching on Instagram, is how fucked up Instagram is right now for tattooers that do large tattoos like myself. And I know there's a lot of other tattooers complaining about it as well, is that the algorithm of Instagram is now picking up everything as nudity. Whether you're doing a back piece, and even if you have, like I have to do now, is pixelate or black out the butt cracks. Instagram's algorithm picks it up as nudity, sexual activity, and then that post can't be showed to non-followers, and then it makes my whole page shadow banned, and so I don't appear in the explore feature or recommended or anything like that, which kind of sucks, right? Because I'll delete the ones that it pings, I'll black them out, I'll repost them, but because I'm on the radar of the algorithm, it just pings them again. So I'm pretty much having, if I want to get back into the, adding followers and getting more reach, I'm going to have to delete my entire portfolio of back pieces and severely censor them, hoping the algorithm doesn't pick them up. Even for front pieces as well. Even I've had full blackout of the genital area, and it's just showing like a front piece or a rib panel, and it gets picked up as nudity, sexual activity, appeal the decision. And I mean, that takes, fucking months sometimes for a human to look at it. And then half the time they go, yeah, it's nudity. And you're like, what the fuck, right? Like, have you seen Instagram? Have you seen the OnlyFans girls advertising on there? Have you seen the actual sexual stuff on Instagram? Girls wearing dental floss over their buttholes and twerking in videos. And, these aren't people I follow. This is just stuff that shows up in my feed, in my explore feature or recommended stuff. So it's fucking wild. It's wild that they're going after artists. And even with the censorship, even with us self-censoring stuff, it doesn't seem to be having much effect on getting it past the algorithm, which is, again, one of the dangers of AI and computers making decisions that affect our lives. And, some people argue like, Instagram doesn't fucking matter. Well, it depends on your take, right? Like for being a tattooer, you kind of have to be on Instagram. I mean, I get a lot of new clients find me through Instagram. I get a lot of exposure through Instagram. If I could not be on Instagram, that'd be great. And I'd love not to be. I'd love not to be on social media at all. But for my business and for my craft and for my career, I have to be. I think Instagram is a double-edged sword that is it's done a lot to promote tattooing, but it's also done a lot to destroy tattooing. And we've talked about this, with other tattooers in my interviews, and I've talked about this myself. But I'll go into a little more detail on what I mean. Like, tattooing is one of those rare crafts that up until really recently was very secretive, very mysterious. People talk about in the old days when you'd walk into a tattoo shop and you'd smell the green soap and you'd hear the buzzing of the machines, and it was like a magical place, right? And you generally, if you didn't know people with tattoos, you wouldn't see them, right? And people didn't have a lot of tattoos back in the day, and so it retained this sort of mysterious corner of society, this little thing, right? And now, with Instagram being the biggest promoter of tattooing, well, also censoring big tattoos, is put it in everyone's pocket all the time. Like I was saying with Chris Garver the other day, and I said this with other people, you see bodysuit, 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 back piece, back piece, back piece. And, this takes away a lot of the power of it. But also, now you've got tattooers, and there's so many different facets of this conversation, so I'll try and keep it to my 15-minute thing. But, you've got tattooers that are competing for exposure, clout, likes, comments. You got all this competition now using Instagram as the means of competitiveness, right? And at the end of the day, is it good for tattooing? Is it good for the client? Is it making good tattoos, right? And the answer is sometimes yes and many times no, especially not so much, I don't think, in the Japanese realm of artwork, because there's a certain, way that Japanese tattoos have to be done for them to be right. But I think definitely in the realism, maybe the color realism corners of tattooing, there's a lot of pressure to outdo each other and add ridiculous amounts of detail and ridiculous amounts of just gimmicky stuff to make the tattoo look good for the photo without any thinking of the longevity of the tattoo, right? And and this isn't good for tattooing, right? The other thing would be all the little finicky fine line stuff that's being done, and tons of it. Like people come to my show, no one gets color anymore. All the small stuff that comes in the door at the shop here is little fine line things with no color, little micro lettering, little outlines, this stuff and all that kind of thing. And no one's getting color, all super fine line stuff, because they've seen the photos on Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest. And, they don't realize that these tattoos generally don't last for a long time. They either fall out or they fade away or they get blurry or they just don't look sharp and good for a long time. And you try and tell them, people don't want to listen because they saw the photo on social media. Same with getting the inside of your fingers tattooed and this kind of stuff, right? Little names in here and stuff. And this stuff doesn't last, right? But, they see the photo and they want it. And so you've got a social media platform dictating how artwork is being done. And I guess that could go across all crafts. Maybe it's in the custom car scene as well. People doing dicky stuff on cars that doesn't work, and the actual workshop guys are like, we can't do that, and it becomes an argument. I don't know. I just know in tattooing, people who generally, let me rephrase this. People are doing stuff for the photo that they shouldn't be doing because as a tattoo it doesn't last. But then they're posting the photo, and that's encouraging other people to get and do those tattoos, right? And that's just the small stuff. Then you got the big stuff, and you got people racing to do big tattoos, and it's all, it's not why I got into tattooing, right? It's not, I avoided being on Instagram for many years. I wasn't on there until fucking everybody else was. And I was like, fuck, okay, well, I guess this is what you got to do, right? It was, it was either keep up or get left behind, right? And like I said, man, it's like same with the tattoo reality shows. It was that double-edged sword, right? It was nice when tattooing was secretive and mysterious, and it was our own little thing. And but the TV reality shows like Miami Ink, they brought tattooing into the mainstream and made it accessible, digestible by everybody, gave it a little bit of respectability, if you will. And, that also bred all the negatives as well, which was everyone and their brother becoming a shit tattooer and, all this stuff going on. And Instagram's kind of been the same, right? It's been great to promote tattooing, and it enables me to have a private studio without a storefront. I mean, granted, I did that. You can use that with a website as well. But Instagram, I think, has definitely been detrimental to tattooing in the sense that it's just made it so there, just so much tattooing and so just accessible, too accessible, like sex, right? Sex is great because when I was a kid, sex was mysterious, right? There wasn't porn everywhere, and there wasn't, you know, naked girls everywhere in the gym, and there wasn't all this stuff everywhere. So it was still beautiful and mysterious, and, you know, you kiss a girl and it'd be something special, and you'd get laid in your teens and it was something fucking cool and special, and you'd like that girl and you'd want to be with that girl. And, you know, social media and the internet and all this stuff has turned sex into a fucking hobby, a pastime, a fucking sport. I don't know what you call it, but I've been married for a long time now. But, you know, I used to run around when I was young, and it was just different, right? I mean, using Tinder and Grindr and all these things that people use, all these different apps to hook up, you know, it's taken the beauty out of relationships, I think, right? And that's just my opinion as a 52-year-old man, right? But like I said, I spent a good 10, 20 years of my life being out in the dating scene before I got married. And I look at the Instagram the same way that it's done to tattooing. It's taken a little bit of the specialness and the magic out of tattooing, you know? And it's funny, and I know I'm catching myself here being a hypocrite, bitching that Instagram won't post my photos because their nudity, will also say that Instagram is detrimental. And that's the problem, right? Is that you've got this, it's the same with all technology, right? You've got the detrimental nature of it, and you've got the convenience of it, right? And this is where we are right now in society with all technology, right? You know, you want the convenience of having the Alexa in your kitchen, but the Alexa is also listening to everything you fucking say and selling your data online to all these people that want to advertise shit to you. Your fucking TV's listening to you. Your phone's listening to you. Your watch is listening to you. Your fucking fridge is listening to you, you know, and selling your data, right? Everything's tracking you. Everything's fucking figuring out who you are, what you want to buy, and then selling that information so they can pump ads at you. And, you know, and it takes away your privacy and some of your freedom while also being super fucking convenient, right? And Instagram's the exact fucking same, right? I fucking hate it. I love it. It's a fucking problem, you know? If it all went away, I wouldn't be sad, you know? And here I am making a fucking video on Instagram, right? Bitching about Instagram. So fucking go figure, right? This is the, unfortunately, the human condition in 2024, right? So in any case, I'm shadow banned. I'm going to try and delete and repost some of my stuff, and we'll see if it gets out there. If you want to share my photos and stuff and try and get me more reach, that'd be great. Don't really need it, but, you know, I like people seeing my stuff. I like meeting new people, having new people see my stuff. And yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do. I know there's another couple of tattooers in town here that have been doing the same thing, talking about it, doing posts about the censorship. If any of you guys have any ideas to get around the algorithm or anything that you think would help, I'm all fucking ears, right? So just shoot me a DM or say something in the comments. And I mean, the more that they censor, I mean, whether it's nudity or controversial topics, you know, to appease the advertisers that want to advertise shit to you with the data they're stealing from you from the devices you use, it's fucking insane, right? When you think about the whole full circle of it. Yeah, does my head in. Anyways, guys, that's my little rant for today. Fuck Instagram, love Instagram, whatever. I'll try and come back with an interview next week, see how we go. I hope you all had a great Christmas and New Year's. And big love to everybody and best of luck in 2024. All the best. See you soon.